Hello, hello. I was going to say happy. Merry Christmas, early Christmas. If you celebrated, happy holidays to you. I am wearing my lipstick that I normally only wear on New Year's Eve. And literally, it's called New Year's Eve by Huda Beauty. It's amazing. I love it. It's that nice dark red color. So I figured let's have a little bit of fun. The previous episodes have been heavy on the education. So let's switch it up a little bit. All right, let's have some fun with oracle cards, get into more of this holiday mode. Also, I sprayed my freak spray here to raise the vibrations. Yes, I learned about this company, this amazing spray through my business mentor. Gosh, 2 years ago now? No, 2021. Yeah. She had her conference and she's good friends with the owner. And so the owner led us through this highly active meditation where we raised our vibration and then we captured it and attached it to the spray that we had in our hand because she gave us little samples. So every time I spray this, I just think about all the beautiful frequencies that I am just tapping into. And it states here frequency infused nostalgic manifestation miss by Freak Rituals. She makes bank. And that's what it states there. So love it. Actually, let's see if I zoom in on here. There you go. So yeah, love this. Smells good. Gets me in the zone. So I have several decks of Oracle cards here. And I want to start off with the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. All right, so this is pretty cool looking. There's that. All right. So I figure we'll use each deck for something in particular. So first, this Christmas one, we're going to get a heads up about Christmas to New Year's, the energy for it. So this is pretty much a fun collective reading. So just a few insights on as to what to expect, what to do, just some heads up. Let's have this conversation with spirit. So that's what with this oracle deck here. All right. And then I have 3 other decks. So the first row is going to dive into strategies. So something to help us prepare for the new year, followed by heads up. So one is strategy, just to give us a few tips, a few pointers. And then the second deck is all about while we're on this journey, entering 2023, all that jazz, what are some things we should look out for in particular as a, what's the word I'm looking for? As a, I don't want to say sidekick, but as just that extra oomph to the strategies. Like here's a strategy. Now, what are some of the more particular things to look out for? And then the third row is just all about spirit and higher self giving us messages. What do they want us to know? All right, so let's get into it. I should have Christmas music playing in the background. Too late for that, but whatever. Here we go. All right, first card, gratitude. Well, that's fitting. All that I am and all that I'll be forever in gratitude, I'll eternally be. So what I like about this card is that the holidays bring about a lot of emotions. And for some people, if the focus isn't on gratitude, if the focus isn't on acknowledging what we already have, it's easy to lose it. Because sometimes when people see others partaking in some things in the holidays, they get jealous or they feel some way. Or it's something that is really a matter of the heart, for example. And I may have mentioned this on the podcast last year or years before. This was many, many years ago. And I was on my way home talking to my Uber driver, and he said that he hates Christmas, didn't like Christmas, all that. And I thought, man, it's one thing if you don't celebrate it, but the lights, you know, the festivities, a lot of people are kinder. And he said, well, his wife had passed during like right around Christmas, and she was the glue for the family. She was the one who decorated and so forth. So it was a very trying time for him. And he was an older man. So they were most likely married for probably a minimum of 20 years. So I get it. It just, it brings out so many emotions for so many people, which is why it pays to be kind and have empathy and get to know people, because sometimes when people are a little bit bah humbug, it's not because they're mean or cruel or anything like that. Sometimes it's because something happened, you know? So express gratitude. The more you express, I can't talk, express gratitude, the more you receive. And when you lose sight of that, you tend to lose the things that you have. So, you know, pay attention to that. Think about things like, I'm happy to be alive. Okay. I'm happy that, and I'm so grateful for the lights being on, having clean water, having friends, or even one friend. I am thankful that I have a place to live, you know, things like that. So even if you can't get the mega gift item, right? Because that's not what the holidays are about anyway. Don't feel bad about that. And don't let anyone else make you feel bad about that. And I understand if you are a parent, you want to give your children certain things. And that's a separate conversation, a case by case basis. I'm not going to pretend to know all the answers, right? Because, you know, kids, some of them, they want what they want, right? So that's a separate conversation. But far as ourselves, zoom out and start focusing on what we can be grateful for. All right. Next. Oh, and people may express their gratitude for you as well. All right. So between this Christmas to New Year's time frame, we're focusing on gatherings. All right. So gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink two wishes. Take one, give two, celebrate all blisses. This is so cute too. And it's just, it's people together. How beautiful is that? So with this, you know, it's interesting because there's 4 people here too, total. Oh no, I'm sorry. Actually, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I like that it's a small group and they're gathered around during a full moon and the fire's going and they're really just enjoying each other's company. So think about how you can have your small gatherings, 1 or 2 more people who you can just be yourself around. You know, maybe you have an exchange of no more than $15 gifts. You know, you do something really cool, fun, and just make it special with just a small group of people. Gathering around and telling stories and really treasuring this moment. One of the beautiful things about the holidays is that the magic that happens involves not only just what you pour into what you're doing, but it's just all around. So it's so much easier for everyone to tap into. You don't have to celebrate Christmas. It's just the energy that's flowing around. So when it states here, speaks of joy, you know, take one, give two, all blisses. What are some of the things that you can also continue on, you know, paying forward? Okay. And then someone would pay forward and that pay forward would be you. So it's just like this cycle of giving and receiving. Okay. So focus on that as well. Next, frost. Ice cold melting in time, a frozen glance at what lies behind, what lies ahead, what lies within, and the chilling Frost of Die Undead. So what is really cool about this card, there we go, camera wants to, there we go. What's cool about this card is that it's a single candle and it's the one flame that's providing that little bit of heat. So what I'm going to say here is during this time where it is cold and we would love nothing more than to be in a house with a nice hot drink and, nestled up and all that goodness. How can you also be the light for someone in the cold? How can you be a light for someone when things just seem like they're done, right? How can you show up as yourself in a time where, or in an environment at a gathering where it's just meh, and you can be that liveliness. You can be, again, just that light, just showing up as yourself and change the dynamic of the party, the gathering, whatever it is. And again, it's one of those things that are the beauties of this time. How you show up, getting festive. I have on my red lipstick and my sweater here, just getting involved, wearing a cute hat, or even I have these earrings that I need to find. They're little jingle bell earrings. It's so cool. What are these things that you can incorporate during this holiday, what is it, 2-week time frame to make it just that much more special? I have a Ralph Lauren sweater that I wear only during this time. I wear it a minimum 2 times a year. Probably 1 now because I'm only going to, actually, it may be twice. Yeah. So I wear it no more than twice a year. And it's been my tradition for many years now. It's my little thing with my little jingle bell red earrings. They have a little bow on it and it's so cool. And it makes it a little bit extra special for me. So how can you make this time a little bit extra special for you? All right. Spirit saying 2 cards. So final 2 cards. Oh, these ones are stuck together. So it may be a third one after this. All right, Forest. It is without question a place of mystery. Whispers of power you've forgotten. Let thy strength crawl from beneath the ground and remind you, dear child, you are magic. Did I not just say this in the previous episode that you are magic? You are the. And to dive into the mystery, I'm pretty sure I said that in the episode before that one. I'm just saying. Let me be your mentor. All right, join Enchantress Becoming. All right, so there's a witch here, and she is just gliding over the snow. All right, forget a 1-horse sleigh. She has her 1 broom. All right. So, quick story, and then I will draw 2 more cards, and that's it. So, a few years ago, it was snowing, and I had to go to the orthodontist. And it wasn't far from where I live, so I figured I'll walk home. I get a cup of joy from Starbucks, and I'll walk home. And it was so beautiful, so peaceful. The snow was falling. Hardly anyone was out. I just came across people who were walking their dogs, and it was so cute, a little dog in the snow. And I just had that precious time to myself. I mean, granted, if I had a broom, it would have been better to just glide on that home. But it was nice to just walk home. The snow is falling. The air is cool. I'm bundled up, drinking my cup of joy, that beautiful holiday themed drink. It's just a very special time. And spending that time with myself and with the elements, I felt more magical. I felt like I was working even more on my magic without trying. And again, one of the more beautiful things about this time of the year. All right, so spend some time with yourself. If you can walk somewhere in a safe area where it's snowing or a little bit cooler, or just Go to a Christmas village, get a cup of hot cocoa with some marshmallows in it. That's magic too. All right. All right. Feasting. Let us feast upon nourishing and be thankful for thy feast, nor here or there, yet everywhere it be. So this is all about welcoming more bounty into your life and enjoying it. And I'm going to leave it with that because that's exactly what I heard. Enjoy your bounty. Enjoy the blessings that are there. Don't dismiss it. Don't rush it. Don't just, eat through everything. And then you're sitting on your couch and you're, savor these moments. Savor this time. Matter of fact, because this is for Christmas leading into New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, right? Yeah, New Year's Eve. 2019, my friends and I said, you know what? We're going to plan something next year. Like we had this whole plan. We just knew, like, you know what? Screw this, because the New Year's Eve was okay. And we thought, next year and the year before that, we talked about maybe traveling. And we said next year. You know what happened after 2019? The pandemic. And we didn't know the next time we would be able to get together. So savor the moments. Okay. And, there's nothing wrong with saying, oh, yeah, we'll plan for this next year. What I'm saying is don't let next year become 4 years later. All right. It's just like the example of someone who has the china in their cabinet, and we don't touch that unless it's for something special. Me being alive is something special. Bring out the plates. I'm still trying to get my mom to open up this bottle of champagne that she's been holding on to. Just open it. Celebrate life. All right. 2 more. This one and then this, and then we're done. All right. Father Christmas. How did they get here? Lost perhaps. No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. Good old masculine energy. Love it. I don't know if you can see it. So it's funny because it's like he's not really looking at you, but he's looking at other places. What I like about this card is that it's that protective nature that I'm getting from it. Don't worry. Enjoy this. Don't worry. Savor this. Don't worry. Let's see what else it states here. How did you get here? How did I get here? Lost, perhaps? No worries. It's okay to get a little lost. It's okay to enjoy this time. Get lost at a Christmas village. Get lost and do something fun that you haven't done before. Okay? Like try something new, something fresh for this time. Okay? You don't have to do the same old thing every Christmas season. And then last but not least, we have family. Thy love is present in the presence of thee, a comforting veil that warms the heart and hugs the soul. Twofold. There's the family you're born with, and there's the family that you create. So spend time with your heart's content. Okay. It's okay to create new traditions. It's okay to want to mix up how you spend your holidays. Nevertheless, you bring the love, just as this card stated states, and just as I was saying earlier about, what you bring in the gatherings and so forth. So for this Christmas time leading into New Year's Eve, focus on your gratitude, because what you are not appreciative of, you can easily lose. Gatherings, get together with the people who matter. You don't need a big crowd. You don't need much. You need love. You need things that make you feel comfortable and safe and all that jazz. So even if you put up a few lights and have people over, 2 bottles of wine and some cheese, that sounds beautiful to me. Frost, you are the light. You are that illumination, and you can be that illumination for someone. And that could mean even donating some things to someone during this time. Forrest, spend a little bit of time with yourself. Okay. dive into that mystery. You can even dive into the mysteries of the winter season, what that means, and because it is a beautiful time. Once I learned to appreciate winter, multiple areas of my life shifted. So that's always fun. Feasting, savor the moment, savor what you worked so hard for. Especially if you are taking time off during the holidays, treasure that. Don't sneak and check your emails. And I understand it depends on your job. I get it. Sometimes, you're that person and you got to be somewhat on. I get it. Try not to let it consume you during the holidays. Father Christmas, that protection, safety, coming together. Okay, this is a great time for that. Getting lost, but in a very fun way, wandering around. And family, spend it with those who matter. And, you get to create your family too. All righty. So that's for Christmas leading into the new year. Let's shift towards strategies. All right, let's put this over here. Oh my gosh, if you guys were to see my setup right now, there are so many Oracle cards, so much going on this side. All right, so strategies leading into 2023. What are some of the things that we should be focusing on entering this? What is the number for 2023? Let's 7. It's a 2, 4, 5. It's a 7 year. Oh man, how amazing is that? Ooh. All right, here we go. Card number 1, the Ice Queen. Ideas preserve, non-action, entitlement. Strategy here. So there will always be people who feel entitled to your energy, entitled to have access to you, entitled to a lot of things. You may also witness people who feel entitled in other areas that don't have anything to do with you, but it still bothers you because for some of you, your purpose involves helping those to combat people who walk over them. So you may be a mentor, a coach that helps with confidence, or who helps with confidence, who helps with personal empowerment, who is a life coach of sorts or a life mentor. So what this card is also saying, or what I'm getting from this card regarding strategies, with that being said, is focusing on non-action, calling back some of your emotions, because I'm hearing about the ideas preserved, because when some emotions aren't displayed, people don't get an idea of what you're thinking, right? It's like a poker face. So in your case, or in a case for some of you, the strategies you want to focus on involve not being overly expressive when you have to take the lead with something. Meaning, you may want to get fired up and you may want to put everyone in their place, check them left and right. The thing is, you have to be strategic and pick when to do it and who to do that with, because you will become burned out. You will go on that, I don't want to say rampage, but that's what I'm hearing, that rampage of helping so many people with their empowerment, with their, I'm hearing empowerment, confidence. And it's going to be to the point where people will know how to trigger you because they know the force that you bring. So if you don't spend time to preserve certain things, if you don't spend time to get even more in touch with your emotions, People are going to do things in spite of. They're going to just do it because they know that they can, that you're going to get triggered and you're going to go off, right? And meanwhile, they're just like, look at this. I really got this person in check. I like pressing their buttons, because there are people who just like to press others' buttons. That's it. They like to get them riled up. So with this Ice Queen, because again, royalty, queen, get even more control of your emotions. And that involves just spending time with yourself, just relaxing, calming down, decompressing, okay? And understand that some people, that's just what they like to do. So don't let them get the best of you. Strategy number 1. All right, next. The Whale Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine. And this is interesting because this non-action in the Whale Watcher came in back to back. So what this is saying is be an observer. I know that might sound counterproductive because we want to be proactive. We want to take action. We want to be the juggernaut, right? Pursuing our objectives, expanding and so forth. However, there are many times where we need to observe a situation before we respond. There are times where we just need to observe and let certain things play out, because some people don't learn. If you keep stepping in to save, to help, to coach, to guide, okay? But also, every battle isn't your battle. Every battle is not your battle. I know, because you're someone listening to this podcast, you're similar to me in some ways, where when we see an injustice or we see something that we don't like, that we know is wrong, is off, it's not cool, we want to step in. We want to help however we can. Sometimes we have to let things play out, even for our benefit. Okay. It also reminds me of a time years ago during my partying years. I was coming out of the club. I was in New York with a couple of friends. And these two guys were just whooping this guy's ass in the street. I mean, they were just going at it. And my one friend was saying, oh man, they're corny, they're jumping him. And I said, wait a minute. We don't know if that guy did something to one of their girlfriends. We don't know what that guy did. Now, I'm not saying it's right to get jumped. But what I'm saying is we don't know what that guy did. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to break it up. I wasn't saying that at all. But what I'm saying is sometimes we have to observe a situation before we do anything. Okay. So we don't know, and the world may never know. Okay. But that's what I'm saying. We don't know what that guy did. He could have said something really, really off color. He could have, like I said, done something to one of their girlfriends. He might have tried something. We don't know. Okay. So sometimes, as the Whale Watcher here, wisdom, power of the divine, take that step back and observe. All right. Couple more. Dragon's Duel, inner conflict, morality, conscious choice. So this card will never be reversed. So you can look at these cards as reverse or not. I don't typically do reverses. This card, this is your inner talk. So it's interesting that this card came up after the Ice Queen and the Whale Watcher, because there will be that inner conflict of sorts. Should I step in? Should I not? Should I do this? Should I not? And this will be a case-by-case basis. The key here is to develop a level of discernment where you understand what you could give to that situation, the role you would play in that situation, and if it's even worth your time and energy to involve yourself in that. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. And will you always get it right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you'll have a high average of getting it right. And keep in mind that this is just going to be something that we're going to face throughout life. The second word here is morality, right? Stepping in, having morals. Oh, I should do that. You don't know the situation. And again, that is also a case by case basis. So start to understand that while it's easy to want to always do that, sometimes you have to go against the grain, meaning when people think you should do something, oh, you should have helped him. That's your sister, that's your brother. That's when you say, no, I have helped them a bajillion times. I've helped them one too many times. They have to learn. They have to understand. They have to do it for themselves. Oh, I know what. You help them then. You help them. Right? So don't let people guilt trip you into doing things that they wouldn't do themselves. Go figure. All right. All right. Second and last card with this word Lord. Communication, praise, dishonesty. This is what is it, about 2 episodes ago, where I asked you, are you the writer or the actor in your life overall? The writer meaning you're writing your own narrative, you're writing your story. You're not letting someone write for you and tell you all the things you should be doing, thinking, feeling, dressing, acting. And there's nothing wrong with that from time to time. If you go to, as I was giving an example in that episode, you go to your doctor and your doctor said, you need to drink less alcohol. You need to cut back on eating fried foods. You should get more fresh air. You're going to listen to those very things. They're writing a portion of your health narrative, which you should be doing. You're going to listen to them step by step. I would hope so. Okay, so overall, you should be writing your story. And this word Lord here is saying, this is where you're going to be certifying things. So these strategies here, where you are exercising your discernment, reflect on it, right? You can even have a journal and write it all out and reflect on it. And you can look back and see that you made the right choices. You may even have someone tell you several months down the road, you know what? I'm thankful. I'm thankful you told me no. Because I was too dependent. I was expecting that word, entitlement. I was expecting certain things. And you'll feel better about yourself because it's a portion of feeling guilty sometimes. So to have that word Lord there is a strong indication to keep going with this strategy of stepping back, non-action, letting certain things play out because you're writing your narrative. It's similar to when people want to tell people who aren't qualified, who haven't been in a situation or nothing similar to a situation that someone's going through, they want to tell them what they should do. Or you hear them at work or, at your home, maybe you have a gathering, like, oh, they should do this. They should do that. I would do this. I would do that. Would you really? You never been in that situation. You haven't been in a similar situation. You have an idea of what you would do. You think you know what you would do, but would you do it? You never been in that person's shoes. If a person is a high level, high performing and the list goes on, and you're not high performing. You haven't done these things, and you're looking at that person like, but dude, like, you don't challenge yourself. You're not even committed to yourself. So why should someone listen to you? Now all of a sudden, the answers. Now you know what you would. Some things just don't make sense, right? Some people couldn't possibly imagine what others have to go through, yet they feel qualified to speak on it. Okay. All right. So when you are committed to yourself and you understand situations, you can better react. And sometimes people will tell you how you should react. And many times they will be wrong. Many times they will be wrong. I'm going to leave it at that. All right. Keeper of the scales, fairness and balance. Fairness and balance. Discernment. Doing what's fair and balanced in a situation. Understanding that. This is developing skills to be fair, to not always give in. Oh, well, no. No. It's similar to when I hear people say, oh, my friend, they won't get a divorce, or she or he won't get a divorce because of their religion, and their family is co-signing on that. Meanwhile, everyone is unhappy to the umpteenth level. It's toxic. It's not working for anyone. And then sometimes they have another child because the child is supposed to make things right. They're literally putting that responsibility on the child to make their marriage work, to make it happy. And it's unbalanced and it's not fair. And people like that are letting others write their narrative for them. And it's causing unbalance. It's causing things to not be fair. And it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. And it creates a vicious cycle, which will continue to the next generation, their children, unless their children check it, because children are like sponges, soak up everything. They're going to think marriages are not supposed to be happy. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've heard people say, oh, after a while, it's just the same old cookie. And oh, well, marriage. Like, why can't you be happy and married? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm supposed to be miserable and married until I die or until my spouse. We got to stop letting people write our narratives. Got to. So this strategy here, it's saying these cards, continue to write your narrative, okay? Understand the roles you play in people's lives. Have that discernment. Let some things play out. Don't intervene every single time. Be an observer. Okay? Don't give out free advice all the time. All right? Okay? One final card. The Hawk Prince. Spirit communication. Paying attention. Paying attention. When you communicate with spirit, spirit helps you to pay attention to the things that matter. Let's pull one card. I'm here, pull one card. Dream Walker, dream the collective good illusions. The collective good. Focus on that collective good and understand. See, the thing is about illusions is it can be fun, right? It can be fun. You go to a house of mirrors at a carnival and it's like, oh my gosh, where I'm going, it's a little bit scary, but fun. And there's the illusion of certain graphics, to make movies look amazing and real, but we know it's an illusion. And then there's the illusion that people sell themselves or people get sold on that unfortunately some people want to perpetuate, and it's just not helpful in their life. It's not. So, to tap into collective good will always be helpful. All right, so those are the strategies, which is great, especially entering the new year, because a lot of people are going to have their New Year resolution. And it's funny because I keep seeing the word new years, and I keep imagining where people are putting an apostrophe because it's not plural years, it's new years with the comma, and I keep saying so that's why I keep tripping up over it. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of illusions with New Year's resolutions, and there's going to be a lot of people who want you to co-sign on it, and you could just, again, no action, not attached, do you. You don't even have to tell them, oh, well, New Year's resolutions don't last, whatever. Let them do them. Let it all play out. All right. So here we go. Getting a little bit more into the particulars. I said getting more into the particulars, and I said that this deck, this row here, is going to be getting specific. This card literally states details. Can't make this ish up. All right, so we have here more books. Oh, and then there's a magnifying glass here, and it's upside down. It has here clarity, important notes. There's a compass here and symbols. I can't tell if it's zodiac symbol or not. Very, very, very interesting. And the number for this card equals 7. It's 43. All right. Details. So getting to the details, the strategy. Ask more questions. Know as many details as you can when you want to pursue something. Now, when I say things like this, I also say, don't ask so many questions that it leads to you not doing anything. Okay. We eventually want to start to do things. Okay. So you should be well informed, but that doesn't mean that you spend 6 months, all right, to get well informed before you finally press the button to do something. Okay. Unless you're doing, some kind of scientific research and the time frame is 6 months and all that jazz, cool. But if it's something like, I'm going to eat better. Okay. So maybe you want to take a test to find out what foods work best for your body. Maybe you want to consult a dietitian, a nutritionist, your doctor. Those are quick things. Maybe you'll get your a blood panel done, just to check, make sure you don't have any cholesterol. Quick things. And then you can make your decision about how you want to move forward with that. Do you want to cook your own meals? Do you want to have a home food delivery service? Do a little bit hybrid of that? You can start to implement these things. That doesn't take months and months. Okay. And you don't have to talk about it with a bunch of people. All right. So get to know the details of things, ask questions. Don't worry about if you look like you don't know anything. Everyone has to start from somewhere, and you're only doing yourself a disservice if you don't ask questions when you really want to. And then you're working on trying to rectify everything that could have been prevented because you made a mistake since you didn't ask the questions. Okay. Not saying that mistakes won't happen, but less. You want to mitigate that. All right. So yeah. And also I'm hearing, don't give everyone details about you. Get clear about yourself, with yourself, all the things you want to do, but don't get everyone information on you. All right. Don't share everything with everyone. Flying. So there are so many. My lights is just too bright. So with this flying card, this horse is a horse with wings, and actually looks like a horse on a merry-go-round. So and it's over a labyrinth. So how does this work? I think a labyrinth, you go to the middle. There's like no other, and then a maze has multiple exits. I forget which one is which. Anyway, I'm just going to say the labyrinth because I like the word labyrinth. So it's a flying horse over a labyrinth, and it's very magical looking. So this is going back to that bird's eye view, zooming out, looking at a situation, but also figuring out the puzzle. When you are flying over something, you get to see things that if you were at ground level, you couldn't see all the other moving parts. So while you're getting the details, you can now see all the other moving parts in situations. Okay. And the fact that this is more of a fantasy looking horse, and the card numbers too, I'm hearing that this is going to be like very fun. It's going to be like a partner, and it's going to be very whimsical. So don't take things too seriously. Go into things with the open heart, a little bit of a childlike mind, a childlike imagination. We don't want our inner child to take over when things are getting serious. However, we want to have just that little bit of element there so we can think outside the box. Because the thing is, with details, it can be looked at as black and white. But there is also a gray area. Sometimes things are just circumstantial, right? And so we have to just ease up on people sometimes, ease up on ourselves sometimes. So don't get too caught up in the details. And this falls back with discernment. Okay. Yes, definitely get to know the details. Definitely ask questions. Don't go off in the deep end, asking so many questions that no action happens. Okay. And so forth. So definitely going to be flying high and getting all the views that you need and understanding the situation. So make sure that you are getting that bird's eye view with as many things as possible. So even if you are trusting someone to lead, it doesn't mean that you still can't be in the know, especially when it comes to you. All right. Next, slow and steady. I pulled this card for the other. Oh, you know what? I'm glad this card came up because I forgot to mention in the other episode. When I said slow and steady with frequency, and maybe I did mention this, I don't know, but I felt like I didn't. Life is truly a marathon. I did mention this. Okay, so this is bringing it back. Slow and steady, which is interesting because this card, which is the snail, there we go. It's a woman. It's also half woman, half snail. Let me see if I can get this in. I may have to just lower. I'm going to reduce my light. Hold on. All right, let's see. It's going to have to do this. There we go. So it's half woman, half snail. All right. And so we went from flying high to getting low, being grounded. The thing about the particulars, the thing about being strategic is that you aren't moving so fast all the time, and you are being very methodical, which means many times moving a little bit slower. Not all the time, but at the right time. Moving slow when others think you should move fast. Move fast when others think you should move slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Sure, yes, we all have heard that saying. The reason why that tortoise won is because the rabbit got cocky and took a nap. If the rabbit stayed the course in that race, and in the tale of the hare and a tortoise, the rabbit would have won. The tortoise never gave up. And then I think about it, I don't think the tortoise cared if he came in first place. I think he just wanted to finish. So when I think about that, I think about myself included. I used to say when I was in high school, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. I'm still working on it. It doesn't matter. You can be 40 and become a millionaire, 50 and become a millionaire. Hell, 26 and become a millionaire. You got to maintain it. You got to be methodical and strategic. And so it's good to have multiple viewpoints. Down low, grounded, up above, bird's eye, okay? And know the details in between. So with just these 3 cards, before I pull more, how can you get to know the details about the things in your life that you want to grow, expand upon, even know more about? Maybe you just want to know more about yourself, your heritage, whatever the case may be. How can you go about that? And how can you be strategic? How can you implement these things? Being slow and steady and grounded, flying above and getting that bird's eye view of understanding the navigation. It looks different for everyone. All right, the next one, wide open. So what this card is all about, so it's this woman and she's basically being open, and it looks like she's about to take a leap of faith. And so with this card is saying, it goes back to the, eventually you're going to have to press that button. Eventually you're going to have to take that leap. And that happens clearly after these 3 cards. When you get the details, you get the clarity, you have those notes, and you continue to focus on your navigation and your strategy. So here's the thing. You don't have to share anything with anyone that you're working on. And I'm not talking about if you have a spouse, right? If you're making some big changes in life, please, I hope that you have an open communication with your spouse where you are a union and you work together. Even if you've been dating for a long time and you have your person, I hope that you are in a relationship where you are able to work together. Okay, so I'm not talking about that. All right. When you have to communicate, talk it out with your spouse regarding something that impacts both of you, right? What I'm saying is, as you're learning about yourself, whatever you're focusing on, you're going to have to take that information and in many ways just run away with it, meaning go forth and do great things. That's what my supervisor, my first job, my first and only told me when I first started. He would say, go forth and do great things. And I thought, wow, what a cool saying. And I use that phrase when I talk about being a juggernaut, being unstoppable, go forth and do great things. And when we are wide open, we're open to receiving, we're open to taking that leap. So if you're single, it's a little bit more easier for you to do, especially if you don't have children, because it's on you. You're not responsible for someone else, because your actions, is going to impact your child, is going to, your spouse is going to ask you or your significant other, hey, what's going on? So you do need to have those conversations and address that, which is why, again, case by case basis. This is why I don't say things that are blanket statements. I put it out there. Hey, what does that look like for you? That's why I say that. How does that apply for you? So you can take what I'm saying and then tweak it. All right. But to be wide open, to expect those opportunities, to allow yourself to apply your knowledge. All right, 2 more, and then we're going to get to what spirit and our higher self want us to know. All right, encouragement. Just as I was saying, talking with your spouse, your significant other, being responsible for other people, encouragement. And it's a giraffe, and it looks like a parent and a child. Look at that. Look at that. So beautiful. Followed by magic prayer. Actually, I pulled these 2 cards from my students the other day. That's funny. And I shuffled the heck out of these cards. Interesting. So, encouragement. Be your own cheerleader. I talk about this so often. Look in the mirror, hype yourself up, encourage yourself. You have to do that for yourself first before anyone else does. And there are animals here, so you may want to go somewhere where it's funny because I'm hearing like animal sanctuary. One of the things I want to do is visit a wolf sanctuary. So that is going to be very healing for me, very therapeutic, all that jazz. So what would that look like for you? Do you have a dog where you can just go on walks and take your dog and, you just talk to your dog, you play with your dog, and you just get these messages. You're just nurturing yourself that way. Or maybe you just need to be out somewhere where you're a bit more freer. Okay. Maybe it's time to travel. Who knows? Right. Spend some time to think about that and give yourself that encouragement, that nurture that you need. Now, going to the magic prayer. And it's interesting because this woman is really embracing it. Okay. She's just like, give me all the answers to the prayers. Bless me, bless me, bless me. Just like this woman is just, I am ready and open to receive. Magic prayer. You don't have to pray to, gods and goddesses, anything like that. You can command something into your life. When you do pray, if you choose to, that's a form of communication. So you can have that conversation with spirit. Okay. And you can have those very detailed talks where spirit will give you very either detailed or symbolic messages, a nudge for you to go somewhere, things like that. And here's the thing with prayer, it gets you to have mind focus because you're focusing on a task at hand. You're praying for something, for guidance, for protection, for whatever the case may be. You are focused solely on that at that very moment. What if you were to be so focused like that in multiple areas of your life? Right? So for this more detailed strategy or more details to help with the strategy, get to know the information, get clarity on these situations. Don't guess, don't hope, don't wish. Get the information, okay? Get informed. Then zoom out and look at all the odds and ends, just as this horse, is looking over where you can see all that there. You can see where the dead ends are. Start looking at the situation. I had the information. Now, what's the playing field? Okay, now it's time to get grounded and take action and be steady and committed to that. And of course, tweaking, changing as you go along. Meanwhile, with that maintaining, you want to nourish yourself. You're going to constantly focus on that. Okay, and I dived all into that the last episode about maintaining, okay, and being wide open to receiving, because what's the point? What's the point? We got it. It's interesting because some people like to struggle because the struggle gets glorified. The hustle gets glorified. And, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes when you start to get traction, and some people don't like that. And for some, those who have been working very hard to get that level of traction, even though it's not where they want to be, sometimes they feel guilty. Sometimes they feel like, oh, I don't want to leave so-and-so behind, or, this is making me feel a certain way. I'm getting this attention. I don't want this attention, and fill in the blank. That's when you have to ask yourself, do you really want it? Because you're going to get some level of attention. It's going to happen. So do you really want it? And if so, then you just have to train yourself on how to handle certain things. You cannot want something and then back down because of people who are going to judge you when they aren't going for it in their own lives. That doesn't make sense to please those people. And you are going to be the only one suffering because they're happy that you didn't go for it. Okay. So think about that as you are implementing your strategies. All right. So I really wish I had some Christmas music playing. All right. So wrapping up this, what does spirit and, my nose. What does spirit and our higher self want us to know? They're always chatting and laughing as they're sending us signs and symbols and all that jazz while we're trying to figure it all out. All righty. So let's get to it. Oh, Merlin. All right. So alchemy, justice, balance. What did I say in these last 2 episodes? Be the alchemist. Merlin also has a dragon with him in this card, and Merlin also helps with time bending. Now, of course, you can learn how to do this on your own. Merlin, wizard, great wizard, alchemist, lots of knowledge. And spirit wants all of us to focus even more on the knowledge, being an alchemist, really diving into our magic. Because here's the thing, this energy is already there, is already around us. It's interesting how people want to deny certain things, yet there are clear quartz crystals in their watches, their computers, their TVs, their satellites, so many other things, scanners, all to facilitate their lives. But God forbid if you use a crystal for healing. Why not? Why not? It's there. God forbid you use astrology to help you make decisions. Farmers use it. Many farmers do. You want to know why Easter is in April some months and then March, other, the date. Because I asked my teacher this in high school. Because Easter is based on the equinox of this and that and that and that. Really? Sounds like you are looking to the planets, the cosmos, to help you make that decision. I mean, maybe I need to learn a little bit more about that, but it sounds like it's based off of cosmos, So don't let people trick you out of learning about everything that's already around us. Be the alchemist. And when you do that, you will give yourself justice. You will give yourself balance, just like the other cards, that fairness and balance card popped up. You give yourself fairness and balance when you dive into your own magic. All right. Next. Oh, and male energy. Masculine energy. the good kind. All right. Ooh, the cow, nourishment, abundance, asking, receiving. Yeah, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I'm also hearing, again, the vision of when, how does that story go? When people are blindfolded and they're asked to touch the elephant and to describe the elephant, and one person touches the leg and, oh, this elephant is, feels like this, and someone has another part, but it's literally all the parts of the elephant as a whole. And it's to give the example of religion and like how we're really connected and things like that. We're all just one, and we have different parts. We're experiencing different parts. Your abundance is going to look different. Some people will tell you or try to tell you what your abundance should look like. We see this all the time. Materialistic things, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. To be clear, I love luxury. There's nothing wrong with that. But luxury does not own me. Okay? I enjoy the simple things just as much as I enjoy the more luxury. And by the way, luxury it has become subjective, right? For some people, luxury is coming to a peaceful home. That's what it is for some people. The luxury of coming to a home with peace and love. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So ask for what you want. And so it's easier said than done to say, don't feel guilty, don't feel bad, just go out there and ask for it. Right? That's easy to say. Practice on asking for what you want, backing it up. So that may mean to spruce up your resume if you want a promotion. Depending on your job, if you're in a private sector, you may have to write a synopsis of what you do or something and say, I deserve an extra $20,000 and here's why. And you may be shaken to the core on the inside, right? But start to back up yourself. You are your first line of defense. You are your first backup. Okay? So make that announcement to the universe, make the announcement to yourself, and work on your sense of worth. Okay? Know that you are worthy. Okay? There's no doubt about it. Now you have to feel it and continue to feel it as you grow, because sometimes with some people get to a certain level and it's like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, well, keep going. And so what? Right? So, get savvy. Understand what you deserve. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with your type of abundance. There's nothing wrong with how you nourish yourself. Okay? You just got to understand what that is for you. The truth, getting to the truth of the matter. Let me see. Here we go. Never mind my missing nail there. My nails are going to get done. So I was trying so hard not to talk with my hands, but my nose is itching as the messages are coming through. So I am batching these recordings. And if you listen to a couple of episodes before, I'm getting over a cold. So I wasn't going to go to the nail salon sneezing all over the place. That's just rude. So my nails are going to get done. All right. So I don't want to see anything in the... but I'm showing up. I'm showing up. All right. All right, here we go. So, truth of the matter. So living your truth, just being you. Like I'm just being me here. Right. I'm very casual. I'm talking as if, you're right here with me. All right. And, start to understand your truth. And that's what Spirit is saying. Start understanding your truth. But here's the thing too. I know in this day and age, many people say to be transparent, live your truth, just be all out there. Some people can't do that. Some people cannot do that. I know this for a stone cold fact because I have a very good friend who is doing very good work. And I'm not even going to say which state, but she's doing great work for the LGBTQIA plus community. And some people are still getting fired for being part of that community. So I can't sit here and just say, live your truth, be all out there. I do say live your truth, with yourself, know yourself, and, step by step, put yourself out there. But there is a safety concern. That's reality. Okay. So if you are someone who has to protect that part of you so you can sustain an income and or not get beat up or worse, I get it. You are not being divisive or shady if you have to protect that part of you. Okay. That's a real thing. If you're not ready to announce to the world certain aspects of you, cool, fine. If your innermost circle, your 3 or 4 friends, no, they love, accept you, perfect. Perfect. Living your truth, being truthful with yourself, and in those parameters, that's what matters. That's what matters. Because we have to think about that. Okay? And it applies for other people who have to deal with other things. All right? So definitely get truthful with yourself, first and foremost, so you can be able to look yourself in the mirror and like what you see. Moving on. Goblin, the wounded human ego. How fitting after truth. Some people, so this is twofold I'm getting. Some people aren't going to like the changes you're going to make. Some people aren't going to like it, but they get it. And then there is the battles you have to do with yourself, the shadow work, the getting to the next level. So you have to let go of certain other issues, or not issues, but certain aspects of yourself. And sometimes it's not a bad thing that you're letting go. For example, and I talked about this before, I love video games. Love video games. You would not want to see me in Mortal Kombat back in the day. Okay. World of Warcraft, The Sims. Oh gosh, what is that other game? Not Elder Scrolls, but can't think of it now. Love video games. Play Madden, played, NHL like 93 back in the all the games. I love them, especially adventure games and fighting games. Love it. I had to sit that version of Tia down. I had to let her go. She may come back later on in life, when I accomplish many other things and I can say, okay, all right. But she needed to sit down. It wasn't a bad thing, right? But it wasn't productive for me. And that's where some people get tripped up, because if something isn't quote unquote bad, well, no one's getting harmed, but it's not necessarily good, because see, I can play video games for 12 hours straight. I still washed, okay, to be clear, I still washed and brushed my teeth, but I can play hours at a time, days. All right. and other things get put to the wayside. So I had to have her sit down. And that was a little hurtful. It was, hurt my little self. All right. And I talked about this before. When I had to uninstall The Sims, I had all the expansion packs. And the thing is, you can't just uninstall. You had to uninstall all the expansion packs and then uninstall the original game. You know how hurtful that was, just to see Making Magic, the dog one, the vacation one, the like the Hollywood superstar one. It's like, it's for your benefit, Tia. So also think about the things that you have to let go that may not necessarily be bad, but it's not necessarily good. Okay. So because this is the time where you really have to buckle down and focus on your magic, being that alchemist and so much more. And you can't do that if you are being directed elsewhere. Same thing goes with social media. Same thing goes with watching too much TV. Same thing goes with being way too involved in other people's lives. Okay. And that leads to not being productive in so many areas in your life. And time does go by fast if you don't pay attention. I'm still part of the group of people who think the 80s are 20 years ago. I mean, I'm still just flabbergasted. I'm just like, wait, there are 22-year-olds? Like, I know they exist, but it's just really crazy. And I never forget one time, may they both rest in peace, someone referenced XX, I think it's XXXTentacion, as just X. I thought they were talking about DMX. And again, no disrespect. The X I know is DMX. So they were this person was just talking, it's like, what are they talking about? And then I was just like, oh. It's like, and that was a while ago. All right. So, it's very interesting. Times change, things change. So if you're not careful and you are not focused, I keep hearing not focused. If you're not focused, time will go by. And before you know it, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And then you're going to feel like you're behind. All right. So pay attention. Have talks with your goblin. All right. Followed by the Raven. Magic, coincidence, synchronistic events. I like the Raven. A little skull right there. So again, it's time to dive into your magic. And also I'm hearing animal work. So it could be working with your spirit animals, actual animal work, animal magic, understanding the symbology of animals, really working with the animals, especially when those giraffes came up. So what I'm hearing from spirit and just like a collective higher self is working on your magic doesn't have to be limited to I'm just going to pick like just you in a room. Magic can be you with the elements, and it should be part of your magic is working with the elements. One of the first tattoos I got are symbols of the elements. And, working with the elements is very therapeutic. And it's also very easy to do because for the most part, all you have to do is walk outside and you already have air and you have earth, right? Now, of course, water can be in your home, but there's different types of water: ocean water, river water, storm water, things like that. And of course, fires in your home. You can also have a bonfire. You can do all these different things. I'm also hearing working with the powers that be. So working with the 4 watchtowers, working with those elements, working with 4 directions. Like I'm just hearing 4s a lot, working with 4s, directions, elements. Okay, so one of the things I say is, to have your North Star, your compass. which is in relation to your purpose, having that direction. So if you were to work with north, south, east, and west, you can work in a way of looking at which elements are associated with north, west, east, and south. You can look at which angels are connected with those directions. Or you can simply look at it like, okay, north, my true north. So I am going to focus on purpose, and I'm going to find where my house faced the north. That's what I used to do. I used to stand, because I'm in Philly, so I know, okay, that's north. So I'm going to put a little statue there because that goddess or whomever is associated with the north direction. So I'm going to face there sometimes, and I'm going to have, a little conversation, like a mini altar. And if I want to connect with the element of the west, that's this way. So whatever that is for me, east and south. And south, I might think, oh, I want to be more grounded. So I'm going to face this direction, and I'm going to work specifically just like that, getting to the details of the matter. And that's the beauty with magic. It can be as light as you want it to be, where you're just sitting down and you're meditating, whatever the case may be, or it can be very detailed down to the hour, where you're working with planetary hours on that planet's day, facing the direction, for that. It could go on and on and on. This is why you get to be as creative as you can be and let that flourish. So work with the raven. You may even get raven in your dreams. And again, just dive into your magic. That's why I keep hearing focus, dive into your magic. All right, 2 more cards, maybe 3. All righty, movement. Okay, so you may move, but what I'm hearing is to get moving with what you want to achieve. Do not waste time. You don't waste time if you do something and it doesn't work out, or it doesn't work out as much as you wanted to. Some people think because something didn't work out, it was a waste. If you don't shift your perspective, and understand what you can take from that. Just like that flying horse. Okay, I got a bird's eye view. That worked, that didn't. Cool. Or sometimes it's just, you got to get a little bit gritty. Pull apart something, find out what's wrong with it, and then you figure out, oh, I just have to just fix that little thing right there. Boom, done. Sometimes you might even have to bring in someone who you trust to help you. Okay. Next, earth bearing, physical health, grounding foundation. Well, that have Snell, have women grounding came up. All right. So we have a lot of earth elements popping up, grounding and focusing on your health. And I was talking about health. So when you are focusing on being healthy, mentally healthy, by paying attention what you are consuming, is just as important as understanding what you are consuming physically into your body. So focus on being as healthy as possible on multiple fronts, because that's what's also going to strengthen your magic. All right. All righty. 2 more. The dragon, one of my favorites, power and strength. I was just saying this. Focusing on that gets you stronger, but also check it. Fire element. It's time. I'm hearing it's time to blaze up. It is time to blaze. All right. And not necessarily trailblaze, just blaze your own path. You don't have to go on, unless this is part of your purpose, but you don't have to go on this journey where you're here for the masses. You may be here just for your community, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you understand that. Okay. I love going to different cities and countries and learning about someone who did great works there, because it's so amazing. Someone who I will never meet, because a lot of times they have passed away, did so much. And on the other side of the world, we don't know. And just like here, and someone's doing something great on the other side of the world, like that's just so amazing to me to see streets named after people because they've done something so great in their community, and their community wants to honor them. They're royalty in their community. That is just so beautiful. So, sometimes you are there to help just a certain group, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm here. All right, Spirit. I'm hearing 2 more. All right, we want to wrap it up with this. All right. This is it. This is it. We're going to put these because we're going to go on and on and on. All right, last 3. Stag, pride, and leadership. Again, I'm getting that earth energy here with the stag. And also male energy. This is a time to dive into that male energy. I am getting a lot of that masculine energy. So really get to know that. I know I talk a lot about goddesses and a lot about feminine energy. Me personally, my male and female energies are even. It's stated in my birth chart. I feel it. I know it. I was raised by very strong men and women. I'm very well balanced with that. I know when to turn my feminine energy up and turn it down. I know when to turn my masculine energy up and turn it down. And those are good traits to understand and to learn, skills rather. So with the stag, very powerful leader, and not questioning it. Don't question your leadership skills. Always grow, build upon them, but don't question it. His chin is up, chest is out. This is what I talk about, posture. I'm a little bit laid back when talking here, because that's the essence of the podcast. It's just, it's as if 2 longtime friends are having a conversation over their favorite drinks. That's how I introduced the podcast years ago. And that's how I explain it to guests when they come on. It's as if we're longtime friends, and all the guests, they love that. They get to be themselves. They don't have to be, so stuffy, not that my guests are stuffy, but sometimes people think they have to be on and very professional. And here it's more of a, so tell me about that. Oh, that's, it's more casual, but we're still getting that punch. Okay. So pride and leadership, take pride in the things you do. The thing is, going back to that word Lord card, some words, well, their definitions do explain how certain people act. Oh, he's too prideful. She's too prideful. Yeah, it can have a negative connotation. However, it can also have a positive one. Just like being humble, that phrase can be detrimental for some, because it can be used as a tool to keep people from taking pride in their work, taking credit for their work. Because what are some of the things we hear? Oh, it's okay. I don't want all that on me. It's okay. I just, yes. And that's nice. And that's very, very sweet. But people deserve their flowers. They deserve their kudos. They deserve their credit. Okay. And, sometimes when people say be humble, they mean it in a good way, which is why we have to understand the people in our lives so we know where they're coming from. Okay. I know this very sweet woman, and if she was a comedian, she would be the one who would think she was funny, but her jokes never land, but she tries really, really hard. And it's like that. Like, she tries really hard to be helpful, but it just doesn't quite land. And she has all the best intentions. So I can't take offense to that. She's trying. Now, someone who's a little bit of a hater and they don't want you to get but so far, what are they going to tell you? Be humble. Don't go Hollywood. Don't get, too big. Don't forget us little people. And again, it depends on who it is and how they say it. But that is a phrase that is used against people sometimes. So it's okay to be prideful of your work. Yes, I did that. I did that. And you know why I'm prideful? Because I was the one who had to fix it. I was the one who was up late nights, crying, doing this, doing that. I was the one cussing and fussing, over it and done, having pep talks to myself. People go through a lot to accomplish great things, and no one gets the right to take that from them. So they should be prideful. You should be prideful in your accomplishments. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why you have the right people around you to check you in case you do get a little bit beyond yourself. All right. Next is the owl, deception and wisdom. I mean, right on time with the stag, right? Diving into your wisdom, diving into your magic. When you go deeper into spirituality, you'll get the wisdom. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, the thing is, some people think spirituality is love and light. They think spirituality is maybe just Wicca. They think spirituality is just the divine feminine. They think spirituality is just self-care, empowerment, oracle, tarot reading. No, no, no. That's a part of it. But spirituality goes way deeper than that. Deep, 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 deep. Okay. And that comes with being open, like that card, wide open, being open-minded to that information when it presents itself. Because here's the thing, there are a lot of ancient texts that many current texts from newer religions are derived from. And for some people to hear that just disrupts their entire foundation. And that's something that needs to be deprogrammed. And it's not knocking those people. It's not knocking the text that they are reading from. It's just that there's a previous author. And some things have been plagiarized. Okay. Many things have been plagiarized. As in the words of Missy, flip it and reverse it. Then, flip, reverse, all that. And unfortunately used as a tool to oppress people. So when you go down the spirituality path deep and you are working on your magic, as Spirit is saying here, being an alchemist, you need to be open to the truth. The truth card popped up. And understand that these ancient texts are the truth. Very descriptive. To go so far and then turn around, that's pointless. That's why I don't believe when some people say, "Oh, I was into witchcraft," and you aren't really. You were not really. It was an aesthetic for you. You weren't. You weren't. Witchcraft is a lifestyle. Let's start there. And education is not supposed to stop. What I know now is because of years of continual learning. I didn't just stop when I learned about chakras. I didn't stop when I became a Reiki practitioner. I didn't stop when I became a dream coach practitioner. I didn't stop when I learned about the upper chakras. I didn't stop when I learned about past lives. I didn't stop when I learned about star seeds. I kept going. And every time my world just gets blown wide open. And every time I feel freer and freer and freer. And that's for me. And I'm not here to convince anyone to like, oh, you need it. No. Whoever discovers me, finds me, and we connect, perfect. That's it. That's it. And with that knowledge, that wisdom, it's a reminder that you're not here for everyone. I'm not here for everyone. You should not want to be here for everyone. Okay. And to have that discernment of deception versus, wisdom. All right. And that's more air energy. There's a lot of winged beasts, winged creatures. All right. Final card here. Trust. We have truth and trust. Trust in yourself, first and foremost. I cannot stress this enough. And Spirit is saying, I'm hearing trust and believe in yourself wholeheartedly. Like I keep doing this, like trust and believe in yourself wholeheartedly. Like trust, believe wholeheartedly. And the thing is, you can seek external advice, help. You have to trust yourself first. Just like when you go to pick a doctor, you need to have trust in that doctor and trust in yourself too, to be your own advocate. You know, I've heard many stories about doctors who they just do crazy things, and they're human too. So you have to be your own advocate. You have to know your body so you can keep pressing on, okay, and not just accept certain things. All right. So overall, what Spirit is saying with the strategies and being more detailed and these messages is to really, I'm hearing having those blinders for your growth. Okay. And that does not mean to not be aware of what's going on. It means that don't get caught up in trying to take in all the information that you're seeing from a multitude of people on social media. There needs to be filters, okay? Filter through these people, all right? Have that discernment and follow those who are truly for empowerment, all right? Follow those who truly want you to learn, all right? No mentor, no coach, no, I don't care who they are. They should not tell you that it's only this way. You need to come. No, I tell people, I put my friends on. Okay. Oh yeah, this person, Glamour Witch. This person, her oils, everything. I talk about Honey Jar. I talk about the Glamour Witch, LA, Alexis Jackson. Oh gosh, Astro Witch, Ali. You know, she spoke in my Cosmic Goddess Mastermind. I tell you, she's an astrologer. You know, go communicate with her. I'm not saying, oh, you know, I learned a little bit about astrology, so just come to me. I can tell you, no, that astrology is a lifetime apprenticeship. Okay, that is a language of and in itself, and that is for the dedicated in that field. All right, astrology is not one of my purposes. Okay, I get the gist of it. I get enough, but the buck does not stop with me. Okay. All right. And that goes with anything. All right. There are always options. There's more than one way to do things. Are there some things that it's clear cut? Sure. For example, you should not harm people just because you don't like someone. Like that, like, no, you should not, you know, that's things like that. Respecting people's free will in spirituality, right? You shouldn't force someone to love you. You shouldn't be doing spells to force someone, you know, like what type of life is that? You know? So things like that. So those are the, I would say, the clear cut, okay, things. But the rule of three, you know, what you put out there comes back to you times three. No, I used to believe in that. Then I thought, but what if I'm just protecting myself? That doesn't make any sense. So again, you need to do bench tests with yourself. Do these bench tests. Okay. And if it makes sense to you and it feels logical, cool. And it may only be that way for a certain amount of time. And as you grow, then it doesn't vibe right. It's not working for you anymore. And that's okay. That's called growth. All right. So start focusing on your magic. Buckle down. Get committed. Be the juggernaut. Don't play. Don't play. Focus on yourself. All right. So may you have a lovely holiday season. And I'm thinking about my New Year's Eve dress. I have one dress in mind. We'll see. It's a champagne color. So all right. I'm looking for my warlock. Not looking. I am calling in my warlock. So, you know, I'm gonna be in my champagne dress most likely. So I'm sending you so many blessings, lots of love. I am rooting for you. Remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.